Yo, what's up, guys? Witt here. As you can see, I made a little mistake. I accidentally pressed the button beforehand about to switch this thing. When we're doing this and we're setting this all up for Witt Live, we're scrambling during that 2 minute countdown. Me and Taylor are. Taylor, say hi.
Hey guys.
For those 2 minutes to basically post on all our social media platforms, PragerU, and then all my pages, where people can watch it before it actually starts. So there's a lot of pressure in that 2 minutes, and today I cracked after 6 episodes, finally cracked. But regardless of that, we're very happy to be here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Today we have a really good episode for you. Today I'm going to be talking about that girl who on TikTok said she was going to stab some people who said all lives matter and what happened to her. We're going to talk about coronavirus at the border, which the New York Times has talked about. The Western Journal has talked about. It's a huge thing, and I'm shocked that more people aren't talking about what's actually going on there. And then we're also going to talk about some stuff with the police and more. And then at the end, I'm going to be taking your calls. So starting now, Taylor's going to be collecting your guys' numbers. I know some of you guys might be a little worried about privacy. I'm not too worried. Just put your phone number in the comments below, and Taylor's going to be compiling them, and then at the end I'm going to be calling some of you guys and answering some of you guys' questions, discrepancies, comments, whatever it might be. So feel free to put your number down below, and we'll start compiling those up. And when I get you on the phone, it's going to be from an unknown number, and talk loudly, okay? That's what we need you guys to do. Anyway, remember, guys, that this podcast on every Thursday comes out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and on the Apple Store. I'd really appreciate if you guys could give this podcast 5 stars. It really helps me out, really helps more people see it, and makes it so that, we just keep doing great, because I love having you guys here. Doing this podcast now, it's like my favorite thing to do every single week. Taylor, is it your favorite thing too?
There's nothing I prefer to do than this podcast.
Thank you, Taylor. Always such a supportive guy. I really do. And talking about the news and getting your guys' takes on things and talking about my opinions and stuff, it's really, really cool to do. So I'm always happy you guys tune in. If you do enjoy it, please rate it 5 stars. And remember to follow me on social media. And I want to show you guys something from someone who loves the podcast. Her name is Kim. I think I'm pointing the right way. You can't really see it very well with the camera, but she drew me this wonderful picture and wrote me this really nice note, and it was so heartwarming to see that people, this podcast is really educating them, and they feel more comfortable to say their views because they listen to this and go out into the world. It's just that's why I do my job. That's why I do my job, for people like Kim and for all you guys watching right now. It's why I do what I do. I don't do this for the fame and the clout, definitely not the money. But I do it because I care about you guys and being there. So thank you guys for always tuning in and watching. I also hope you guys had a good 4th of July. We're going to be going over this video today where these chicks on TikTok made a video talking about the 4th of July and how much America sucks, and we can cringe along with them. That'll be fun. But I went up north. You guys know I live in LA, and so I went up north because in Hollywood and in LA, they shut everything down. You can't go to the beaches. All the restaurants were pretty much closed. You weren't allowed to light off fireworks. So I went up north to a little small town. I went out on a lake and I did dirt bikes and stuff. And it was a ton of fun, being away. And no one told me to wear a mask. So that was probably the best part. I went with some friends, and it was a really, really good time. So I had a really good 4th of July where I was able to be patriotic without being assaulted or told that I'm racist or anything horrible. So I was really happy about it. I had a great 4th of July. I hope you guys did too. Last thing, before we get into this, I just want to say, people have been asking, they say, Will, this is the best podcast in the whole world. I've never heard someone with better ideas and topics than you. And I say, I know, okay? And they say, why do you only do it once a week? The news happens on Thursday. You have to wait a whole week to talk about it. I said, I know, I hear you. I guess we're going to do 2 days a week. So in about a month, PragerU and myself, we're moving into a new studio here in LA, and I'm going to be doing this 2 days a week, which I'm really excited about. So that's going to be more topics, more stuff going on, more Hawaiian shirts, more all buttons undone. It's going to be a lot of fun, going to be a great time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and all the support. That makes it possible that we're able to do this. Okay, let's start. We're going to go over a comment that I got on last week's podcast where I talked about white privilege. You guys remember that? I talked about white privilege, and basically I said, privilege comes from the choices that you make. Doesn't really matter if you're white, doesn't really matter if you're black. Of course, people have bad circumstances and it's harder, but you can make a life for yourself, So you can be a black person, be born into a totally rich family with great parents, or a white person born into a horrible family, horrible circumstances, but you make your own choices. That's what it is in America. And so I wanted to show you guys this comment that this guy left. He said, from Loose Crogs. I don't know what that means, but Loose Crogs, he said, at the Will Witt, you are the poster child for clueless white privilege. And every time you open your clueless white privileged mouth, you spout out asinine opinions you gleaned from a clearly clueless, sheltered white privileged upbringing. The result is absolutely Trumpian rhetoric, and only the bots on this page are impressed. You guys hear that? You're all bots. Your lack of empathy mirrors those you admire, and everyone but your clueless, privileged white clan plus Candace Owens can see it as plain as day. Live a little. That's a comment that I got on the last video talking about white privilege. And I thought it was funny because this comment that this guy left, that's racism. Okay? He calls me racist. He says PragerU's racist, and the people who agree with what I talk about are racist. This is racist. The fact that this guy can come on social media, on Instagram, and then say, I am, I have these privileges, I have my life that is a certain way. He is assuming that because I'm white. He's assuming that I have this because I'm white. So when you are making assumptions about someone because of someone's race, that's what racism is. That's all this guy is doing. This is the one thing, you guys see my interviews, you guys see my videos and what I do, and I'm very calm. Okay, I'm very calm, and I talk to people well so that I can actually educate them, and the people who are watching can be educated. I don't want them to think I'm some angry guy or that I hate them or something. I love all these people, I don't want to get angry at anyone. The only thing that ever really gets me kind of heated in any debate like this is these attacks on something like because you're white, you are a certain way because you're white. Like you had such a privileged life, and that's just because you are white. That is the one thing that makes me really upset, because it's like these people act like they know anything about where I came from, know anything about my life, know anything about what I did to get to where I am, and they think that it's just because I'm white. They look at me and they say, you only got here because I'm white. And I don't mean to be vain by saying this, but there are lots of people who would like to be doing what I do, being conservative, media personalities or in the news or whatever it is that I do, and I didn't get here because I'm white. I got here because I worked really damn hard. I worked for days. I dropped out of school. Every single day I was reading and writing and doing political stuff, or practicing talking to people, or practicing giving speeches or videos, taught myself how to do pretty much everything that I do. And I did that. I worked really, really hard for it. I didn't have anyone holding my hand to go through this, and that has nothing to do with me being white. The fact that someone can come on and assume where I came from because of just the color of my skin, that's racism. That's racism. These people, these leftists who say these kind of asinine things, they're the racists. They're the racists for assuming this. So I just wanted to go over that real quick because it pissed me off. It made me mad. Taylor, imagine someone comes on, just assumes this stuff. I'm sure you guys get mad at the same thing. It's like they have no idea where you came from, and they act like they do. They act like they know you because of the color of your skin. That's racism. That is racist. What do you think, Taylor? Do you think that's racist?
Amen.
Thank you.
Our commenters are offended. They say bot lives matter.
Yeah, bot lives matter. You guys matter. People assume you probably got leaky wheels or greased up circuits just because of the color of your steel. Okay, you guys are the best looking robots I've ever seen, and I don't care what they say. Okay, you guys are great. You guys are fantastic. So don't let the leftist robots tell you what to do. All right, this analogy is getting weird. You guys know what I mean. Okay, you guys are great.
Leaky wheels.
Leaky wheels. Do wheels leak? I don't know if wheels even leak. You know what I mean? Like the axle on the wheel,
I think we should just move on.
All right, we're going to move on. I'm obviously a mechanic, and I know, or robot engineer. So, okay, today, the biggest thing that I want to talk about is what no one else, I think, is really talking about, which is what's happening right now at the border in terms of coronavirus, okay? I've been doing this research over the last about 3 days, trying to get this story for the podcast and make sure I was very accurate on things. Some of the things that I'm talking about in this are from people who gave me information who want to remain anonymous because they don't want their names out there. They're fearful for their jobs. They're fearful for, their safety, what the hospitals or whatever it might do to them. So I can't say for the most part, I can't really say anyone's name who has given me this information. But there are some other articles about this that you can read that's public. There's an article by the Western Journal. Excuse me, Taylor, if you want to throw that in the comments. There's an article even by the New York Times that says Corona jumped the border. So this is out there, but people are missing the point. People are missing the point in all the articles that are talking about this situation. For you guys listening and aren't watching this live, I just took some water, so that's why you heard that. So I always feel weird drinking water. I'm taking a break, and then people are going to, I don't know, get all upset and leave. I don't know. That's stupid. That's me being insecure on my podcast.
They complain about your lip smacking too, so I think the water's helpful.
My lip smacking? I know. Well, I get here. I'm talking for I don't know, an hour straight. My lips are gonna smack. I get so angry. I smack my lips, my robot lips. Okay. Anyway, here's what's going on. I want you guys to look at all the news that's been going on right now about coronavirus, about COVID, and think about how there's been a spike in cases, right? We've all heard that, new spike in cases. Some of them are from people who went to protest, some younger people that we're hearing. Some are still the older people that were getting infected before. But a lot of it is happening in Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Abbott just put in a mask mandate in Texas right now, just whatever. And then in Florida, okay? Is there anything similar about these states that you guys can think of? I'll give you 2 seconds. Anything? They're all on the border. They're all on the border that these states are, that we're getting spikes in coronavirus cases, okay? Right now, 100,000 people a day are crossing the border into California from Mexico. These aren't just Mexicans. These are people from Southern America, Latin America, from all over, are crossing the border into Mexico, or into the United States, okay? If you look at the hospital in Mexicali, which is a town in Mexico, it's basically flooded with people who have coronavirus. It's a horrible situation there. People are very sick. The hospitals are totally overcrowded. And so because of that, people are coming over into America right now. All these articles, the things that I said that was wrong before, that these articles are getting wrong, is that they're classifying these people who are coming over and getting medical treatment in the United States, they're classifying and saying that they are legal citizens. They're saying they are legal citizens or legal residents. Now, there are people who are coming in who are essential workers, who are legal citizens, who are legal residents. But many, I've talked to nurses, I've talked to doctors all across the border, in the hospitals all across the border, in Imperial County, all across there, and they are talking to these people who come in. They can't read or write English. They don't have a medical record. They don't have any American address. They claim to be homeless in a lot of cases, and then they're getting medical treatment from the hospitals once they cross over the border. Many of them are coming through, they might have legal documents. Some of them are jumping the fence. Some of them might have fake documents, however, or coyotes are bringing them in, whatever it may be. They're coming across, and then they're coming to the American hospitals, and they are getting treated, okay? These people, they say they're legal, in these articles, they say that they're legal residents because in California, a doctor or nurse can't legally ask someone who comes into the hospital whether they're a legal citizen or not, okay? So I'm a doctor and a person comes in and he says, he comes into the ER and he says, I'm sick. I can't ask this person if he is legal or illegal, legally speaking, on my behalf. I can't do that. That is against the law. And so pretty much anyone can come in California and just get free medical treatment, okay? And listen, I'm all for humanitarian efforts. I totally believe that we should be trying to do everything we can to help save these people's lives, treat them for the virus, Whatever we can do as Americans to help them, we totally should. We totally should. Anything we can. But why is it that then a nonprofit called Samaritan's Purse, okay, you guys have heard this is a Christian aid organization. They've worked in the Navajo Nation. They worked up in New York when the coronavirus started there. And they claimed they came down to the border and they said, we want to help. They said, we want to help. And they did an assessment and everything. And then the California government, Newsom, went and did an assessment, and they said, we don't need your help, even though it's totally, crazy down there. And 100,000 people cross over a day. In San Diego County, 70% of the new cases in San Diego are from people who have come over from Mexico or know someone who came over from Mexico. And so they're not letting these nonprofits come in. Now, why do you think that is? Again, I'll let you guys ask for a sec. Why do you think that is? Okay, here's what's happening. When someone checks into a hospital in California and they say, I have coronavirus, or they come in and they have coronavirus, the hospital gets a certain amount of money, okay? If they don't have coronavirus, then they don't get as much money, okay? So this is why you're hearing all these stories about hospitals labeling people as coronavirus, even if they don't have it, because they get more money, right? So these hospitals want people to come in with coronavirus so they can continue to get money. Okay? It's a whole screwed up system where we're letting these people come into our hospitals illegally, and then basically we the taxpayers of California are paying for this medical care for these people, and the hospitals are making an absolute killing off of it. Of course, they want to help people, and it's not, the doctors and nurses who are doing anything wrong. Of course, it's a California government. It's a very corrupt system. And so, another thing is like these hospitals near the border are getting very full already with tons of people. So these people who are coming across the border who are sick are getting shipped all across the country. They're getting shipped to Inland Empire, Riverside, San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, Sacramento. I mean, they're going all over the country with air ambulances, things like that. And again, another story that I heard from a guy in an air ambulance, they're flying them over to different places at night. They're flying all these people at night so that people don't know what they're doing. And they're flying them for free, and they're going wherever they want. It's an absolutely crazy situation. I mean, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. I think more people... I don't know if I can say this on camera, but I think more people aren't talking about this because they don't want to make it seem like border security is so not working, okay? Border security is not working right now. People want to say, conservatives, that the border is fine and we're shutting it down and people aren't coming over. There's been no minimization of people crossing the border since the coronavirus outbreak even happened. The numbers have been exactly the same. That was from me talking to a Border Patrol guy today. The numbers are exactly the same. So yeah, it's a crazy situation. All these people are coming over, and then think about the people like someone who has coronavirus gets shipped to I don't know, Sacramento or San Francisco, and then they get discharged from the hospital. These are like sanctuary cities. They're just going to stay here, They're just going to stay here with no penalties at all. ICE isn't going to come and retrieve them and bring them back to Mexico or wherever, No one's going to do that. So these people are basically staying here, and they're all coming in, getting the free health care from America. And look, I'm all for helping our neighbors. I'm totally for helping our neighbors and wanting to do as much as we can. But when the hospitals are getting overrun with people who aren't from, who aren't from this country, and we can't even take care of the people who are, United States veterans, homeless people here, or even, our own citizens, our own families, that's a big problem. That's a big problem that we're putting other people from different countries ahead of American citizens. And I think that's a really big deal, and it scares me, and I've been doing this research. It's made me pretty upset, seeing all this information come out about this. Yeah, that's really what's going on. I just wanted to bring that up and talk to you guys about this, just so that you're aware, so that when, you're hearing these people talk about a spike in cases all across America, look at where the hot spots are, okay? They are by the border. That's where the hot spots are. You're not hearing about spikes in Montana or Idaho. These are happening in Southern California, Arizona, Texas, Florida, places where people are coming over, And it has nothing to do with, again, I feel like this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, that me saying that, I don't know if it's the best idea that these people are coming here, legally or illegally and, getting free health care from the California government. There's nothing racist about that. That's just that I want to protect Americans first, and I want that our hospitals to have enough capacity to help people in America who are dying from coronavirus or have any sort of medical attention, or people, who actually need this help, or that it's not being paid for out of my tax dollars. You know what I mean? Like, I want to put the people who are here first, So that's what's going on with this. It's a crazy situation. If you guys have any more questions about that, you can ask it when I'm calling people today, which will be pretty exciting. Again, you can drop your phone numbers down below, and I will be calling you guys. Make sure that you speak up when you're on the phone, and you will be getting a call from an unknown number, because I'm not giving you guys my real cell phone number. I know what you guys will do with it, you weirdos. But I'll be giving you guys a call. and you can ask me more questions about this as well. I probably missed some stuff, and this is going to be developing as well. Did anyone have any good comments about it, Taylor, or anything in there to address that you saw?
Just people are riled up.
Riled up? I'm riled up.
With you.
This is a crazy situation, because then I'll just say this. In California, they're keeping, they just locked down businesses for 3 more weeks, restaurants and bars and things like that, 3 more weeks of keeping us shut down. And because they say it's in a spike in cases, but look at where the cases are. And it's because we're never going to not be shut down, because people from, Mexico, South America, Latin America are going to continue to come into this country to get our medical care who have the virus, so our cases are going to continue to go up. Also, people like, let's say this is talking to nurses and things again, this is what they're saying. Let's say you cross the border, you go to a hospital in Imperial County, and you get tested for COVID and you're positive, and then you get shipped out and you go to, San Diego or something, you get tested again. They're counting that as 2 people. I mean, the numbers are just wildly inaccurate. They're wildly inaccurate on the actual cases here in this state. And that's all over. And so then it's going to continue to keep us shut down, and the California government's going to continue to grab more and more power because they're the ones letting all these people in. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind that I haven't heard any conservatives really talking about this at all. And it's like such a huge thing. At least it is to me. I don't know what you guys think. I hope that if this is a big deal to you, I hope that you share this podcast with your friends and tell them to watch this part, because it is a big deal. And I think everyone should know about it. Taylor, did you know about this before I said it?
I did not. I first heard it in the article, which I'll drop again in the
Yeah, you guys can check out the article from the Western Journal. There's some people in there who said some, incredible things, and a lot of this has been from a lot of the digging that I've done. I guess I'm a real investigative journalist now. So, very cool of me. Okay. That's enough of that, unless you guys have anything else to add. I'm sure I'm missing stuff with it, and again, you guys can ask me questions about it, but I think it's really interesting. I want to talk about this TikTok girl. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? She is a girl, obviously, who on TikTok. Well, I'm going to play this first one, and then you guys can make your assumptions off of that, of what you think. Okay, let's play the first video from her TikTok that she made.
Next person who has the sheer nerve, the sheer entitled caucasity to say all lives matter, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you. And while you're struggling and bleeding out, I'm gonna show you my paper cut and say, my cut matters too.
First of all, before we even get into the horrendous stuff she said, let's talk about that analogy about a cut or stab wound. That doesn't even make any sense. First of all, it's like it doesn't make any sense. You want to show them your cut or something. I don't know. It was very basic level thinking in terms of that analogy. Did you get it? I didn't get it.
That's what they're training. How they're training people to think at Harvard these days.
Yeah. She went. Okay, so this girl, she went to Harvard, right? She went to Harvard, or was she going to Harvard? She went to Harvard. She
graduated.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. She graduated from Harvard, okay? And so she's about to get this hella cool job, she's super pumped for it, and she's like getting viral on TikTok with some of these TikToks she's making about how bad conservatives are and everything. And then she puts this one out, this gem, where she says, if you say all lives matter, I'm going to give you a little stabby stab. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy, that she would say that. And so then here's what happened. How do I exit out of this? Here's what happened. She then gets fired from the job that she was going to get. Okay? She gets fired from the job that she was going to get because she said she wanted to stab people who said all lives matter. And then she cries on camera and says that it's Trump supporters' fault that she is getting fired from her job. She said, again, she does talk about in here, she says she's getting harassed by Trump supporters, death threats and things like that, which of course, I don't wish that on anyone. But just watch it for yourself and see her reaction.
Trump supporters just took my job away from me. I've gotten death threats, rape threats, violent threats. It was okay. But now it's just like my future. My future is entirely compromised because Trump supporters have decided to come for my life. God, this sucks. You guys suck. I'm too strong for you. I'm too strong for any of you. All Lives Matter raises Trump supporters. It sucks, but it doesn't suck as much as systemic racism. And I'm not going to stop using my platform to advocate for it. And I'm sorry, Deloitte, that you can't see that. That you are cowardice enough to fight somebody who's going to make an indelible change in the world and is going to have an impact.
There you go. That's it. Taylor, first thoughts. What do you think?
I mean, it's kind of like it's her first time experiencing the consequences of her words and actions. And as much as I'm not a supporter of cancel culture, it's hard not to be like,
right,
karma.
The difference between cancel culture and this, because I've seen discrepancies about it. You know, she lost her job because of that TikTok that she made about stabbing people who say all lives matter, basically, you know. There's a difference between cancel culture versus her getting fired from her job. Cancel culture is basically Twitter justice at this point.
Right.
It's people going on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever and coming up and saying, you know, all sorts of horrible, terrible things because of something that you did that might not even be that bad. And it's it sucks. It's a terrible thing. I've had people, you know, say just I've been mobbed before, you know, for things that I've said. I made a video where I talked about multiculturalism in Europe and how multiculturalism in Europe is destroying Europe. And some big name leftist blue check marks got a hold of that and they tweeted it out everywhere. And the amount I turned my messages off and, you know, and I was like, this is just insane. Like, people just say the meanest things in the whole world. And it's horrible, you know? It's like, it's terrible. And luckily I'm used to it. But I get the people who are just like, you know, some random student who says something, you know, a difference of opinion, and then they get completely just destroyed by people. I mean, that's demoralizing. It makes people want to kill themselves. Seriously. Like, it's horrible getting attacked by the mob on social media. I'm not trying to, you know, sit here and say, poor me. I'm saying, but it is, you know, it sucks. It's really bad. You know, especially because it's like, for the things that we're talking about, cancel culture, it's like something like a difference of opinion, like a J.K. Rowling, you know, says something that she has a difference of opinion with someone, you know, about women actually being women, and just people just berate her all day, and they're burning Harry Potter books and all sorts of stuff, you know, and it's like that to me doesn't seem like real justice. There's no justice when it's the mob rule coming and actually, you know, I'm going to switch back to this. There's no justice when it's actually just a mob coming and telling you how horrible you are, saying that your career and your life should be destroyed. You know, all it is people trying to virtue signal and come on and say, you know, I think you suck too. Someone else said you suck, so now I'm going to come on and also say you suck. And that sucks that people are like that, because it's all just jumping on someone, you know? And I don't think that's cool at all. But in terms of this girl, again, going back to what she did, she, you know, again, I see her TikTok. I'm not super worried about it. It's obviously a joke, you know. It's obviously a joke, which she's talking about. I'm going to stab Trump supporters, and she's using some stupid analogy and talking about it like a joke. But regardless, you did say that you're going to stab people who say, you know, all lives matter. You did say that. And so your job, you know, someone who you're supposed to represent their values outside and inside of work, they have the right to fire you. You know, I don't think that your life should be ruined for anything like that. I think you should be able to still go on and make your dumb political TikToks, whatever it is that you want to do. But for your job to, you know, come out and say, we don't want you working with us because of this TikTok, this seems like totally fair to me. I don't understand why there's any sort of even debate over that. You know, I don't understand that. But I don't ever agree with the mob just coming and destroying people's lives like that. It's a terrible thing. But, you know, like this, I think the business was totally in the right. What do you think?
I think you're on point. That might be the best Will Witt take on the podcast so far.
Thank you. It wasn't about what have I talked about before today? I talked about some other stuff.
White privilege.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. Another fired up podcast. I feel like last week wasn't too fired up because it was all about kind of patriotic stuff.
You're not fired up about.
No, I'm fired up about patriotic stuff. Okay. Yeah. No.
Get him, guys. Get him in the comments for that.
North Korea. Justice for North Korea. No, of course I am. I am. But we are going over like U.S. history, you know? And it was like one of the best podcasts ever, too, in terms of viewership, which was really, I don't know. You guys are weird. You guys are weird, the stuff you guys like. But I hope you guys like this one, too. So you can watch all of it. You can watch all of it. Anyway, I'm fired up today, so I think we got some good stuff. I mean, it makes me upset. And then it makes me upset that she comes on and she blames Trump supporters for her losing her job. It's like, you did this. You made the video. Now, you reap what you sow. You put it out there. Now you take credit for it. If that's what you really believe, that you want to, that you think these people should be stabbed, stand by your opinion. Stand by your opinion. And I urge all of you guys out there, I never want you guys to go and attack someone like this because of what she said. Don't go to her TikTok, don't go to her Twitter and leave her death threats or say horrible, mean things to her. Don't go and do that, okay? It just makes you look bad, and it makes us look bad in general. Don't be that person, okay? We win with facts, education, and love, okay? Sound like a little hippie, but seriously, that's how we win, okay? That's how we have to win. If you win off of anger and hate and rudeness, you're only going to push people away, okay?
Amen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No.
You were smacking your lips. So I was like, I thought Taylor was going to actually say something.
No, and I think, justice sort of won out because she ended up suffering, I think fair consequences in proportion to what she did. And, so.
Yeah, nothing. I don't think anything
so
happened
us
to her.
becoming the mob, or people who have a difference of opinion from her becoming the mob and trying to exact justice by trolling her or being mean to her, that's not justice. So it's a good thing that
yeah, it's not justice if we go and do the same thing that we hate on people for doing to people who we agree with. It's like, that's not cool. Like the stuff with Terry Crews right now. I wasn't sure if we would have time to talk about this right now, but we can talk about it a little bit. You guys seen Terry Crews' Twitter recently? Dude, popping off. I'm loving Terry Crews right now, and he's not backing down at all. It's like, sorry, my tight jeans are riding up in my chair. For you guys listening to it later, you'll just have to trust me. Yeah, it's like he's going off on Twitter right now talking about Black Lives Matter, and that Black Lives Matter isn't just about, Black Lives Matter. He's like, he wants to stand with all races. He wants equality. He wants people who are white and people who are black. They're all brothers and sisters. He wants them all to come together, not black supremacy, not white supremacy. It seems like a pretty good message, It seems like a totally fair point that he's trying to make, that he wants us all to work together and be happy and be good with each other, like Martin Luther King or something like that, And then you have all these people, these leftists, coming and trying to cancel Terry Crews, say horrible things about him because of, him coming out and saying this. They're saying it's racist that you don't support Black Lives Matter. People are calling him an Uncle Tom and everything like that, just because he says he doesn't want to really support the organization Black Lives Matter. He thinks all Black Lives matter, but he doesn't support the organization Black Lives Matter. So, and again, it's like you could agree with so many of these people on 99% of issues, and you disagree with 1%, you could disagree with a fraction of a quarter of a hair of 0.01% with these people. And that's not enough. That's not enough. You have to agree 100%. You have to get on your knees and bow down to these people who are instituting the narrative, instituting the agenda, instituting the rules. And if you don't give 100%, canceled. You have to give everything to them. And that's why, I'm not going to say any names about this as well, because I don't want to, embarrass this person. But I was consulting these people. This girl put out a TikTok, and she was getting canceled on Twitter for it. Some girl from her university found it, and she was like a patriotic TikTok for 4th of July or something like that. And she put it out, and then this girl from her school finds it, and they're trying to cancel her. They're sending her death threats and stuff, and like all these horrible things, and trying to cancel her. And I told her, you shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't apologize at all. Like stand with your values and everything like that. And these excuse me. People don't always, take all my advice, and and if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. It's never good enough. You can apologize, you can delete it, you can delete all your social media, you can wipe yourself off the face of the earth. It's never enough for them. The only way that they ever feel good about what they're doing is that if you agree with them 100%. You have to agree with them 100%. You have to capitulate to the mob with everything. And that's why you can't. That's why you can't. That's why you have to stand up with every single thing. Don't say, a leftist comes up and talks to you, or someone who is wildly disagrees with you come up and talk to you, and, are you going to beat around the bush and be like, well, yeah, I kind of think this, and, sometimes that's right. No, tell them exactly how you feel. Tell them, go off, sis. Tell them what you're thinking. Tell them what is actually right, what's going through your head, and don't give in to them at all, because they'll take one thing that you say and totally push you off the edge for it. So, yeah, this thing kind of turned to something else. I was just going off for a sec, but But don't give in to the mob, okay? Never give in to the mob. Don't apologize, because they'll keep going. No apology is ever good enough for these people unless you completely just change your everything, really. Okay, let's play this TikTok. I want to play this other TikTok. It's funny because I'm playing all these TikToks for you guys, and I was going to talk about this too, is that America might ban TikTok right now. The U.S. is considering banning TikTok. I already know that they banned it for military service members because of, national security concerns. India banned TikTok last week as well, which is I think it was the biggest market in India for TikTok. I remember going on TikTok and seeing the strange Indian TikToks that were pretty funny. But now no more for those because they're worried about stuff. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with that. I don't know exactly my opinion on it too. I'm sure that the people in intelligence and the government know more about what TikTok and these Chinese apps are doing than some guy with a podcast. So I'm not going to act like I know everything that TikTok is doing. But right now, 500 million users on TikTok. I can't see it being. I don't know what they're getting from us that isn't already really out there. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm I don't know what they're going to get. I heard that they're taking the last 3 keystrokes or something, or they're taking what's out of your copy and paste, but then they actually fix that. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Anyway, let's watch this TikTok of these 2 wonderful women, or I assume are women. I don't want to assume. And their @ is Midwest Queer. That's their @ So I'm guessing they're in the Midwest, if I had to assume. All right, let's.
Is that all you know about them?
That's all I know about them, okay? I can't tell anything else. Maybe they're, I don't know. I should name myself California Straight for my, make a new TikTok account. By the way, on the last TikTok that I did, I got in, people hated on it. Oh my goodness, they went off on me. It was very fun. Okay, let's watch this.
I'm ashamed to be an American where not all folks are free. And I won't forget the enslaved who died and built this place for free. So I proudly lift up all the folks who are still oppressed today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt this ain't our land. Fuck Trump and fuck the USA.
Oh, man. Sorry for the profanity at the end right there, but I wanted to show it to you in its entirety so you could get a full scope of what that TikTok was, okay? And I want to say this isn't uncommon. So I have a friend who's an actress in Hollywood, and I was talking to her about the 4th of July, and she's like, yeah, totally. I had some friends, they saw that what I was doing, and they came and just told me how racist and horrible I am, And it's you think these people are your friends, but they're not. But I'm saying that because these girls, what they did in this TikTok video, it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon in the slightest that these people are hating on America, saying F the USA, F Trump. There are millions of people out there who are doing this. We reviewed that TikTok last week of those girls saying, don't wear red, white, and blue because America's racist and a horrible place. I just find it so funny that it's in their title, Midwest Queer. They're in the Midwest, obviously, so they live here in America. The only reason why you can make this dumb TikTok is because you live in America where you have freedom of speech, okay? The only reason why you can do any of the things that you do is because you live in America, the greatest country in the world right now, where you have freedom to do all of the stupid things that you want to do. I have the freedom to wear this stupid Hawaiian shirt and wear stupid Hawaiian shirts every podcast because we live in America. Look at what's going on in other countries. Free speech laws and in Middle Eastern countries, they will throw gays off of buildings and things like that. It's just, you have so many privileges here in America. The fact that people hate on it, they hate on it because they have so many privileges. Because life is so good for them, they hate on this country. If they had something to actually worry about in their lives, then they wouldn't spend time, talking about how horrible the USA is or how bad it is to live here. But everything is so good in their lives, they have so much freedom, the ability to do whatever it is that they want, that they go on and complain because it makes them feel like they're part of a group, like they can actually do something, And that's a really sad thing. It makes me really sad that so many people, hate on this country. And the part where they talk about, this isn't our land, that's the most horrible thing. I hate that. I did an interview a little while ago. Maybe you guys have seen it, where I was at a march for open borders, something like that. Yeah, I think March for Open Borders. And I get talking to this chick, And she's like, this isn't our land. And I'm like, oh, it's not our land. She's like, yeah, it's not our land. I'm like, do you think we should give it back to the natives? She's like, oh, yeah, 100%. Let's give it back to the natives. And then I said, so we should leave. She's like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, like, let's pack our bags. Like, I will leave with you and let's give it back to the natives. And then she awkwardly, detracted away, where it's like, you actually press these people on an issue like this. They don't even know what's going on, They don't actually know what's going on. They're not actually going to leave this country because they love it here. They love it here. They have so many freedoms here. But they all say that they hate it. So with the Native American issue, the one question that I ask when it comes to, people saying this isn't our land, we should give it back to people, the one question to ask is just, let's say America, did do some bad things to Native Americans, which is true, right? No one's denying that it wasn't the happiest of times to be a Native American in the 1600s, 1700s, and, have your country be, new people come in. Obviously wasn't great. But the question to ask these people, is America worth it? Is it worth it now to have America be around in the world, or should we have left it and just seen these Native Americans, turned our ships around, and went right back to Europe? What do you think? I think it's worth it. America, the greatest country in the world, what has done so much for the world, saved the world on multiple occasions. I mean, can you imagine what the world would be like without America? If the first colonists came, saw the Native Americans, and just sailed back home? America was worth it. It was worth it to be founded. It was worth it so that we can have these girls on TikTok lecture me about how bad America is. That's why it's worth it, because you have this freedom like there is nowhere else in the world. So, yeah, I don't like that argument about this is someone else's land. America is worth it. America is worth it. And I hope that doesn't make me seem insensitive to the plights or anything of Native Americans. Of course, I'm not like that at all, okay? Of course, horrible things happen to them and it's not a good thing, okay? But that's how the world was back then. Conquering, taking over land. It was a whole different time, It was a much different time in the world. So, and I think America was worth it. Okay, I think we're about ready to get into your guys' calls. Taylor, did you put phone numbers down here?
We do. We have several.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to... Oh, my mom texted me. My mom said, what is TikTok? That's funny.
She doesn't need to know.
Mom, it's, when you have a clock and it goes back and forth, that is TikTok. No, my mom is a wonderful person. I love my mom so much. My mom is I'm just going to say this because she's watching right now, and she's going to get mad that I made fun of her for TikTok. But I love my mom, and she's my biggest role model, and she's the one who taught me everything I know, and she was very hard on me as a kid. Growing up, I got grounded all the time for things that I didn't see other people getting grounded from, and she would ground me, and she was just amazing and taught me hard work and responsibility and everything. I'm where I am now because of my mom, and she supported me when I decided to drop out of school and with no money and move to California and everything, and she was there for me. So there's just a sweet moment about my mom because I love her, and she's the greatest. And I love the rest of my family too, but this is about my mom. Okay. Anyway, let's get into some of these calls. I'm going to be calling some of you guys on *67. I also got an iPhone 11, and it's red, which is dope. Got a red iPhone 11. For you people who are only listening to this, sorry, you can't see it. Okay, the first person we're going to call. And please speak up if I call you, okay? Please speak up if I call you. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello. Who is this?
Reagan?
Hi, Reagan. This is Witt.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Where are you from?
Arkansas?
Arkansas?
Yep.
I've never been to Arkansas. I forget
Come.
that Arkansas is even a state half of the time.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, I've never been. Taylor was going to come in with a joke and then decided not to.
No, not a joke. I'm calling you a coastal elite. How dare you?
Oh, I am most definitely a coastal elite. The
Flyover
coastal cities are the best places in America. So,
Heck no.
sorry, Reagan. Anyway,
No.
I recognize your name from Twitter actually. Now that I've seen your name, and you're
Yeah.
wonderful. You are the best on Twitter. So thank you for that. Did you have a question today or anything?
Well, I just wanted to say there's like a lot of COVID spiking up where I live, and I have no clue what's going on about it. It's just really weird, because now we're all having to wear masks in every single city, and my school doesn't even know if they're going to start again. So, it's pretty odd.
Yeah. No, it definitely is pretty odd. Okay, I'm going to hang up the phone and I'll talk about your question. Thank you so much for calling, Reagan. Bye. So I can't speak about exactly what's happening in Arkansas right now. I don't know why there are more cases there. Again, I didn't even know Arkansas was a state. Just kidding. I knew it was a
We need
state.
to do a geography lesson next
Yeah,
podcast.
seriously. Like that video I did with the Iran map and asked people to point out Iran. We should ask people to point out Arkansas. I bet you 99% of people couldn't tell you where Arkansas was. I bet. Could you point it out?
I could. I used to live in Oklahoma, though, and I've been there several times.
Yeah.
but-
Well, no one cares about Oklahoma
oh
either.
my God.
Just kidding. I love Oklahoma. OKC is my basketball team, other than the Celtics. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry that people are forcing you to wear your mask and everything, but they're doing it in Texas too, where the governor, who's a, think conservative guy, is now making people wear masks, mandated masks. So it can happen to a city near you. It can happen anywhere. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know why the cases are going up in Arkansas, but yeah.
A comforting snippet from Will's forthcoming interview with Dr. Bark tomorrow.
Barkey.
It's
Yeah,
Barkey
Dr. Jeff
coming out
Barkey.
tomorrow.
Great guy. That's coming out tomorrow, yeah.
But you'll see a little preview. He said in the interview, he said your likelihood of dying from COVID is less than what was it, like 50 times more likely
you're
to
50
drown
times more
if
likely
you're
to
under
drown.
25
Yeah, 50 times
Yeah,
more likely to
than
drown
to die
than
from COVID.
yeah, it's like
So-
crazy. So
Hopefully that's at least a comforting thought.
yeah, so don't go any swimming pools and you should be fine. That's the moral.
And tune in tomorrow to catch the rest of that interview. It's 9
Yeah,
a.m.
what,
on
9 a.m.
Facebook.
PST?
Yeah.
Probably. Okay, calling the next person. Could you guys hear that all right? I hope so. I hope it sounded okay and you guys were good. See this next one. Answer the phone. This could be the greatest.
Hello?
Hello, Jacob?
Yes.
What's up, man? This is Will Witt.
No kidding, that's crazy. I'm watching you right now.
Oh, cool. How's it going? Where are you
It
from?
goes well. I'm originally from Las Vegas, but
Okay.
I'm living in California right now.
Nice. Best state in the union, baby.
You live in SoCal, right?
I do. I live in Hollywood, yeah.
Cool.
You have a question today or anything?
Yeah, it was more just like I was looking up I was just having a hard time finding like the 100 I guess the 100,000 border crossing number every day. And like I look at the Customs and Border Patrol's number
Mm-hmm.
and it says like it decreased like 70% from March.
Okay, so Taylor actually linked the article that's in there that has the
Yeah.
numbers in it.
I saw the article and they don't link to anywhere.
Because the New York Times article was talking about the same. So I'll go back and look into some of those things.
And I'll put the New York Times one in the
Yeah,
comments.
I'll
I
put the
haven't
New York
put
Times
that
one in. There's a
yet.
New York Times one as well. It talks about coronavirus hopping the border. So we'll look at it. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Always
Wow.
glad.
Cool.
So-
Have a nice one.
You too, man. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm getting called out for my sources, Taylor.
Hey.
Getting called out. No, it
we got
happens.
links on links.
We got links. Okay, we got links. Check out the links. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Next call. Are you guys enjoying the calls? It could be you next. Could be you next. Here we go. This is fun. I like calling you guys. It's fun for me.
Hello.
Hello, is this Ashton?
This is. Hi.
Hi, Ashton. This is Will Witt.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, cool. In Tennessee,
Yeah.
in Nashville, they just raised taxes by 37%.
I know. It's amazing, isn't
I
it?
know, crazy out there. Turning
a lot
into
of
the next.
sarcasm in that.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. I'm a very sarcastic person too, so good job.
I like you for that. I do. You're my kind of people.
Thank you. You have a question today?
I guess it's more like just asking for advice.
Okay.
Recently I had posted something on Facebook about something about the whole BLM movement, just something I personally
don't support their whole organization kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a student that I go to school with just kind of, just very ignorant and just pretty much my first experience with cancel culture. And I was just wondering how you deal with that. I know you kind of talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I can get into more details for sure. Okay, I'm going to hang up the phone, but I'll answer your question. Thank you, Ashton.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the call.
Okay, so again, I can talk about my situation with cancel culture. Again, I hope you guys can hear their calls all right. I know it's probably a little bit quieter, but basically she asked about, she is at a school and she talked about Black Lives Matter, and then some people have been trying to cancel her. Okay, the number one thing to do with the haters is ignore the haters. Okay, not if there are people who want to have civil debates with you and talk to you, and they're people you respect and know, talk to them, okay? No reason not to. But people coming on and just hating on you, saying horrible things to you, or trying to cancel you, ruin your life, do not give these people the time of day by responding to anything that they say, because then they feel justified. Then they feel motivated to keep it going. Again, like I was saying before, one apology isn't enough. One response isn't enough. You can't appease these people if they're trying to cancel you. They want to cancel you, okay? They don't want some response or some, little apology. They want your life to be ruined. They want to ruin your life. So don't give them anything, and you have to ignore it. The number one thing, like when people come on and say horrible things about me, I mean, again, I can take it. I've been doing this for a while, and I've been tried to be canceled a few times. This happens with every conservative political person, whatever. But I just turn off notifications and I don't go on. That's all I do, because I don't want to deal with it, okay? It makes me sad. It makes me sad to go on Twitter or Instagram and see people being horrible to me, I'm not being a little baby by saying that, okay? But it's like, thousands of comments on stuff. Like I put out some tweet, again, it was about I said, my body, my choice is a dumb argument, okay? I said a pimple is part of your body. A fetus living inside of you is not a part of your body. And I got, literally 10,000 responses on this of just horrible people saying horrible things to me, and I was just like, screw that. Like I'm logging off. I'm getting off. I'm not looking at it, and and that's it. And that makes you feel way better. Go out, do some stuff with your family or some friends. Go get some food, read a book, watch TV, do something else. Okay? Don't go and read the stuff, because you read the stuff and it only makes you feel horrible, and you're gonna get over it. Okay? People write a response, they want to cancel you, and then a minute afterwards, after they're done with that, they forget about you, and it's like whatever. Okay? So it's not the end of the world for you. It's all going to be okay. Just don't read what they say, and don't give them the time of day if they are trying to destroy you. Okay? Give the people who actually care about you, or who actually, want to help you, give them the time of day, not the people who hate you. It's no point. It's no point. It's only more fuel on the fire for them. Okay. Here we go. Here we go, baby. This person's name is Michael. So, Michael, I hope you're listening. If you're not, you're going to miss out on the best day of your entire life talking to me. Taylor can confirm.
Hi. Hello?
Hi, Michael. This is Will Witt.
Hi.
How-
I got sick.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing wonderful. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That's cool. I've been to Pennsylvania. It's a cool place. You have a question or anything today?
Yeah, just one or...
Yeah, just one. Sorry, man.
Okay. Alright, so I get, how America has this whole, this rule of law and this, democracy and things like that, and it's been like this for a long time, and it's worked, and, I understand that, and I understand how, China has, at times a very, very, authoritarian government, right?
Right.
But, so my question is, I guess one of my questions was, if China was to be more democratic, more rule of law, and you start to see money being able to come out of China freely, and you start to see Chinese people, passports looking no different from Americans or British, how does this necessarily help Americans? And that was my first question. And I have a second one. But,
Okay.
I guess if I just had one question, then that was the wrong question.
Yeah, sorry I can't answer both questions. I'm going to hang up the phone so I can put my hands down. I'll answer your question. Thanks for the call, Michael.
Yeah.
Bye. Okay, I was having some trouble hearing him. but I believe that his question was essentially that if China became more democratic and, you know, everything like that and was more free, that how would that help America? I guess that was his question, I believe. And to me, if I'm answering your question right or understanding the question, if I didn't, just type it in the comments, Michael, and Taylor will try and find it if I didn't do it right. But that's, of course, good for America. You know, open world markets so that we can exchange goods, have good prices on things, no more tariffs, things like that. You know, no one's taking advantage of each other. I mean, that's obviously a good thing. And, of course, if people in China are more democratic and aren't being controlled by their authoritarian government, that's good for America because that's good for the world. We don't want people dying in China because of their government or having a social credit system or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm all for Chinese people and in their country being better off. You know, I think that's a good thing for everyone. You know, yeah, right. That makes sense, huh?
Amen.
Yeah.
And I think an important distinction to make is like the CCP versus China. Like, of course, we love and support the Chinese people. And, you know, but we need to be tough on, when we say, I think the terms get confused a lot when we say we need to be tough on China. It's like we need to be tough on the communist Chinese party that's ruling people and taking away their rights. And, you know, like, what are they doing to the Uyghur people and like all these just crazy things that they're doing? That's what we oppose. And when, you know, the more democratic and free the Chinese people are, the better place the world is. And that's what we as Americans.
We want freedom all across the world. That's what America wants, you know. Whether or not you agree with them going into all these different places and trying to institute freedom every time, you know, that's up for debate. But, you know, regardless of us going into somewhere and doing something about it, we do want freedom everywhere in the world. We want people to model themselves after America, you know. If countries are more like America, I think the world would be a better place. I'm going to be honest, you know. If China was more like America, I think China would be a better place. I'm going to say it. Hope that doesn't offend people. It might, you know, because America is such a horrible racist place. But, you know, China would be better off. But, guys, that's where I'm going to end it today. We've been going for about an hour today. It's been a lot of fun. I got some really fired up moments today, which is really good. I'm glad I got to talk about the coronavirus at the border and the TikTok girl and these other TikTok girls. This podcast should just be called TikTok Girls, the show. TikTok Girls with Witt. Yeah, that's a great title. I'm sure that would go over very well with my audience. Maybe 13-year-old boys would love it. Anyway, that's a show for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, go on Apple Podcasts. This will come out tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST on all podcast apps, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, and then you can rate it 5 stars. Leave a nice review. It really makes me happy when you do that. And that's about it. Taylor, any closing thoughts? No?
Leave us those 5-star reviews.
Yeah, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Remember to share this with your friends, okay? Share this with your friends so that more people know about this and what's going on. And always go to PragerU.com/donate to help keep this podcast free so you guys can continue to watch. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. We will see you next week, next Wednesday, 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m.